Hi everyone, it's Nini. Welcome to my channel. I am in Deadwood, South Dakota, which is part of the beautiful Black Hills. This town was founded during a gold rush and holds a lot of history. Deadwood was a wild and rowdy town in its early days, full of gambling, brothels. There was also a lot of murders and other crimes because there were no laws in Deadwood when it first started out. Some of the buildings are supposedly haunted by people from those early days. Now, I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but I do think it is kind of fun to talk about, so I thought it would be interesting to talk about 3 of the buildings in Deadwood that are allegedly haunted. I want to start with the Adams house, which is this beautiful Victorian house behind me. It was built in 1893. In 1920, W.E. Adams and his wife Alice bought the house. "5 years later, tragedy struck. Alice had terminal cancer and went to California to visit their daughter, who was 7 months pregnant. Alice died suddenly during that visit, and the shock sent her daughter into premature labor. She and her unborn baby died too. So in the span of about 24 hours, W.E. lost 3 family members. His other daughter had died from a disease a few years prior, so now W.E. was the only person left in his family." My gosh, how do you even find strength to get out of bed with that amount of grief? In 1930, W.E. built the Adams Museum in honor of his wife and daughters. There's also a memorial in Mount Moriah Cemetery that I didn't realize was there until I saw it. Among all the graves, W.E. dedicated a spot to his family and put up a memorial stone. I thought that was kind of sweet. W.E. married again in 1927. He was 73 and his new wife Mary was 29. They were only married for 7 years because he died in 1934 from a stroke. Mary closed up the mansion as it was, with furniture and everything still in it, and moved away. The house stayed closed up like that for 50 years. In 1987, she sold it and it was turned into a tourist attraction. W.E.'s ghost is said to haunt this home. Before Mary moved out, she apparently heard W.E. walking around the upstairs after his death. Staff have reported smelling cigar smoke, but no one is smoking. Other staff have entered rooms and seen rocking chairs start rocking on their own. W.E. loved this home. He had worked very hard in his life and was proud to be able to afford such a huge, elegant home. He was at home here when he died. Some say W.E. loved the house so much that he never left. Behind me back there is the Bullock Hotel. I'm standing a little ways back because one of the shops is playing music that I'm hoping my camera isn't picking up. In 1876, Seth Bullock and his business partner Sol Starr came to Deadwood and they started a hardware store in that building. In 1894, it burned down and they rebuilt it as a hotel. In recent years, there have been a lot of paranormal activity there. People have been tapped on their shoulders, but nobody is there. Plates and bar stools have moved on their own. Showers have turned on by themselves. Toilet paper has unrolled by itself. Though I suppose if that scared the crap out of you, you are in the right place. Deadwood got hit by a smallpox epidemic in 1876. This was when the building was still a hardware store and the cellar was used as an isolation area for sick people. A lot of people died from smallpox, including a lot of children. The ghost of a young girl is often seen in the cellar. Seth Bullock didn't die in the hotel, he died at his home in Deadwood, but he apparently haunts the hotel. And he apparently doesn't like lazy employees, because people have said paranormal activity increases if the employees are just standing around doing nothing. Staff have reported being tapped on their shoulders, but when they turn around, nobody is there. It's almost like Seth is telling them, hey, get back to work. His wife Martha's cat is also said to haunt the hotel, because staff and guests have said they've been scratched, but they don't know by what. The Bullock Hotel is still a functioning hotel, so you can rent a room there, but just keep in mind that you might not have the room all to yourself. Behind me is the Fairmont Hotel. It's considered one of the most haunted places in all of South Dakota. It was built in 1898 and was a hotel, brothel, bar, and gambling hall. There has been a lot of paranormal activity reported here. And it's been the usual stuff, like people have reported feeling something brush up against them, but nothing is there. People have reported seeing items move around on their own. People have also reported seeing ghosts of specific people. One of the ghosts is a young prostitute named Maggie Broadwater. In 1907, she was distraught over something and had been drinking heavily. It said she was either pregnant or was heartbroken because a man she loved didn't want to be with her. Or it was possible she was upset over her occupation. Working in a brothel was not an easy life. For whatever reason, Maggie was distraught and jumped out of a third-floor window. The streets of Deadwood had so many layers of mud that it somewhat broke her fall and she didn't die immediately. However, she did pass away 3 days later from internal injuries. Her ghost has been spotted and is said to be a sad ghost because ending her life didn't take away her sadness. People have seen Maggie's ghost open and close doors on the first floor. People have also seen the ghosts of 2 men. Around the time Maggie jumped out the window, the boyfriend of one of the prostitutes came to the hotel and shot and killed one of her clients. When he tried to flee, he accidentally shot himself and collapsed on the street and died. His ghost has been spotted on the 3rd floor. People have seen the ghost of a little boy. It's not known his backstory, but his ghost apparently acts like a typical little boy and runs around the hotel looking for fun. Some report Jack McCall haunts the hotel. He is the man who shot and murdered Wild Bill Hickok in Saloon Number 10. The original location was next door to the Fairmont Hotel. Jack didn't die here. He died in Yankton after he was found guilty for the murder. But it said his spirit attached himself to Saloon Number 10, and spirits often moved to nearby buildings, or so they say. The ghost of Jack McCall has been seen at the bar of the hotel and near the slot machines. The Fairmont Hotel is no longer a hotel. I think it's just a casino, and the 2nd and 3rd floors are not in use. Apparently, any attempts to renovate the 2nd and 3rd floors have been interfered with by ghosts. Like on one occasion, a worker was on the 3rd floor and he was holding tools in his hands. All of a sudden, the tools got yanked out of his hands by some mysterious unknown force. Apparently, the ghosts want the 2nd and 3rd floor all to themselves. I hope you enjoyed hearing about some of the haunted buildings in Deadwood, and I'm curious if you're brave enough to spend a night in the Bullock Hotel and possibly have to share your room with a ghost. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.